following program is a collection of stooges talking about the happenings in the automotive detailing industry. It is meant to be comedic and informative. The opinions expressed on the show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or their ad partners. There may be some cuss words because that's how grown-ups talk in the real world. If you are a young, please seek permission before watching or listening any further.
Welcome to the Detail Solutions Podcast. My name is Alex Russell and I'm your host. You guys might be asking, well, nobody's watching yet, but somebody might be like, Alex, what are you doing on at 9 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast or whatever? And that's because I've got a special guest today, John Hogg from Angelwax. And of course, everybody knows that John is in Scotland, so he's 5 hours ahead, so it's afternoon for him, so we had to get on early this morning for this. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna get through the, the BS stuff. So afternoon, Clive's watching. How you doing, buddy? So the Detail Solutions Podcast.com, that's the website. That's where you're going to be able to find all of the links to the show, where you can watch us, where you can find us social media. It also has our preferred vendor page, which is our wonderful ad sponsors. They're the people that help donate some money for the show to run their ads so that we can bring this to you and do some of the travel stuff that we're going to do this year, or that I'm going to do this year. And they also are going to give you guys a discount when you purchase their products or sign up with them or things like that. So make sure that, if there's not a coupon code and you're talking to them, make sure that you do mention that you heard it on the podcast, because when you spend that money with them, they're going to spend that money with me. We're going to have some laughs. So it's hashtag money, money, funny. Um, the YouTube, some of you guys and gals might know, I did not recover the YouTube. Didn't decided I didn't want to do that. Just figured I'd start anew. So it is still the Detail Solutions podcast is the channel, but it's the Detail Solutions Podcast 1, like the number 1. So make sure you go like, share, follow, subscribe. We were up to like 200 and something subscribers before everything kind of went away. So I'm back up to about 30. So you guys, please go like, share, follow, and subscribe if you want to watch there. I am trying to, I know it's slow going, but I'm trying to get these back up. The TikTok is the Detail Solutions Pod if you want to follow us there. I know I keep promising to do lives, but I don't know. I just don't. It's not my forte, I guess. So we'll see what happens there. I'll probably do some when I go to the Reds, Just Car / Angelwax training, May 3rd through the 5th. So if you haven't already talked to Tommy and you'd like to go to that, hit him up. That's going to be a pretty cool thing. Noxie's going to be doing some Just Car training, and then Rain and Tommy are going to do some Angelwax stuff. It's going to be a good time. Let's see. That's about it. Please go like, share, follow, subscribe, hit that notification button anywhere that you're following us or listening to us. Please leave us a review. Hopefully a 5-star review would be great. And yeah, so like I said, I've got John Hogg on. He came up with an idea for a topic the other day, and I thought it was really good. So it's the ideas behind product development and dismissal of the smoke and mirror side of the industry. So we're going to bring John on after the commercial, let him talk a little bit about how he goes into product development, and then we'll also talk about what he sees as a chemist on through the bullshit. So we'll be right back with John Hogg.
Detailer knows what a detailer wants. Aquatech is a company founded by detailers for detailers.
Aquatech Coatings is a company that was founded on the frustrations that we all face as professional detailers. And that is why we set out to build a company that eliminates those frustrations, to provide excellent customer service, quality products, reliability, efficiency, products that check all the boxes as professional detailers we need and we want.
Find out why so many detailers around the world are loving the Aquatech difference. Join our team today at aquatechcoatings.com.
And there he is. How you doing, John?
Not bad, Alec. How are you?
Oh, it's morning, so still trying to wake up.
Apologies for that, but I can't
Nah,
do anything about the time difference.
it's all good. I'm actually supposed to talk with Esme on Saturday, so it'll be another early morning one for me since she's
Another hour ahead.
6 hours ahead. Yeah, another hour
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will. Say hello to her when you talk to her.
Oh, I will. Yeah. We had her on before and it was awesome, but the audio quality ended up not coming through very good. So I figured it was time for us to try and do it again. So
To the MTEs.
yeah, exactly. So Rain Albertson's watching. He says, "Hey John, how you
Oh
doing?"
dear. Hi, Ray.
So this topic that you posted up about the product development, and then the smoke and mirror side of it. So um I guess first what I want to talk to you about is the product development side, like the ideas and everything that you being a chemist and being the one that makes the stuff for Angelwax. How is it that you get the ideas, or
Usually,
what sparks them, and then how do you go into development?
yeah. Usually we are customer driven, so we'll get a message or a customer will contact me and say, "Do you do?" Or more often than not, it's "Can you do?"
Okay.
So that in itself gives you, a kind of line. Coatings was the one. Can you make coatings? Well, I can look. And the biggest bit of development is finding and trusting your raw material supplier. So we have, I don't know, 2-3 dozen companies that we purchase raw materials from. And you have to depend on them to give you quality material, but you also have to have security of source and security of supply, which we
Right.
have.
So how do you go about making sure that you're getting the right stuff
We
and
would, for example, if we were, the coatings is a good cause because it took me about 4 years to identify and get a supplier of the main component resin. Once we had got that and you have an arrangement and a relationship with the supplier, then things are a bit easier. At that point, you have physically got material in your hand. Our usual route is I'll make something up with it, check it, see what I think about it. If it looks reasonable, I will then send it out to our detailers or distributors worldwide. So I'll send one sample to Australia, I'll send some to Tommy, I'll send some to Rain. Zav in Singapore will get one. I'll send it to Europe. We'll send it to people here. All these people will then try the product and report back. And at that point, you start taking on board what people have said. Say, oh, it's too quick, or it's too slow, or it's not glossy enough. Improve the slickness. So you do all that, you take all that back on board, you then amend the product again, and then repeat the exercise.
right.
So anything that we bring to market has been thoroughly tested in the most varied of climates. So normally we get it pretty much right most of the time.
Right.
Occasionally, as we found out with Genesis, in the summer in the US with the high humidity, we had to amend it because we had done all the testing in the winter. And the humidity caught us out slightly. So we changed the formulation and made it easier.
Okay.
And therein lies the benefit of in-house manufacture and in-house testing. Because we switched the formulation in a fortnight.
Right.
And
So when you were
that's different.
right. So when you were talking about how you spent that 4 years trying to like resource everything, do you look at what other companies or brands
No,
are doing and say, I
no,
like that, I don't like that? No? Okay.
no. We have developed from the very beginning uh, on the basis of making it as good as we can. We haven't looked at anybody else's material. Don't have really anybody else's material in the factory. We just didn't do it that way
Okay.
because we wanted to be. We are different by dint of me not knowing anything. This is not my industry, or it wasn't when I started. So I had to
Right.
learn. So you're not constrained when you start and you don't know anything. You go in the direction you think you should go in. So we haven't ever copied anybody, looked at anybody's and went, I've looked at some products and went, well, that's good. I wish I could do something with that. But we've never actively went out and copied or chased anybody. It's
Gotcha.
not how we do things.
Gotcha. You just know that it's these products make this, and then
Yeah.
it's just you finding out which are the better ones and how to mix it to do the
I've
things
been
you
at
want.
this formulating game for 38 years.
Okay.
Initially started making printing ink, paper varnishes, UV photoinitiators, UV lacquers. So I've been formulating since I left university in 1986. And so after a long time, experience counts for much more than knowledge if you kind of know what I mean. It's handy if you have both. But if you
Right.
know over the course of, 10 years ago, you tried something and it didn't work, but it nearly worked, and something else has come on, you go, I swapped that for that and I've got a product. It's all experience and learning. And it's physically doing the job. We never ever write a formulation, work a formulation out, then make it. We tend to make and then work it back.
Oh, okay.
We are very hands-on. Everything's done on a hands-on basis and then tested, not just by me, but by everybody else
Right.
before it even thinks about going to market.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's the right thing to do, right? I mean, it's what most everybody does, because the last thing you want to do is throw something out there, and then, like you said, right, when you test it in wintertime, and then here in the States with the humidity, it was like, oh,
We didn't expect that. So, but we changed it. We changed it very quickly.
right. And was that because whatever was happening, you go, oh, I know exactly why that's happening, so we
Yes,
can.
it was customer feedback. The work time wasn't as good as it could have been. So the customer fed back and says, look, this is a really good product. It's brilliant, but it's hard to work with. All right, okay, we can make it better. So I sampled
Gotcha.
it. I fired it off to Rain to test. He went, wow, I love it. And that was it. Job
Okay.
done.
Yeah. And then I mean, I know you're talking about coatings, but I mean, Angelwax does pretty much kind of have
Everything.
the full gamut, across the board. So, you know, how does that kind of work the same way as like with the coatings, like when you decided to develop a compound or a polish or a shampoo
Shampoo is a
or
good one. Shampoo is
okay.
a really good example. Most shampoos that are out there are actually detergents. There's a difference between a detergent and a shampoo.
Okay.
They're chemically different and they behave differently. Now, had I known what I know now when I came to develop the shampoos, I might well have developed or went down the detergent route. But because at the very beginning I didn't, I developed a shampoo. because I thought shampoo, that's what you
Yeah.
do. So our shampoo is pretty much unique on the market as far as I can see, in that it's a proper, absolute chemical pH 7, wash your hair with it shampoo. But that's only because we didn't know anything.
Right.
And that's the kind of beauty of it all. Because we don't look at others and we don't you do what you think's right. So what we thought was right was a shampoo, and that's what we did. Same with the foams, and I mean foams are detergents, but our foam is based on foam fire extinguishers.
Okay.
We used the same tech because we thought, well, what's foamy and sticks? Fire extinguisher, right? So that's where we went, and that's how we got the tech to do that and put in the cleaners. So we think differently, I think.
Okay.
Well, I certainly do.
Yeah.
But it's just a different way of looking at things. It's why would we make a product that's hard to use? Because we wouldn't want to use a product that's hard to use.
Right.
So why would I expect my customers to do that? And equally, we are open, so customers can feed back to us. We're accessible. You can pick the phone up. Whoever said that, the answer to that would be yes. So long as it's not solvent fire.
Yeah, that's Rain. Rain's asking if he could put out fires with this fast foam.
Yeah, you probably could. But
I mean, technically, it would have water in it, right? I mean,
the technology that made the foam stick, which is what foams do, is what we brought on to the fast foam. So it was a moving of tech from one field to another.
Gotcha.
So that's how we did it. We do the same with TI-22 development point. It's for titanium sealer.
Uh-huh.
That comes from my ink background, where you use titanates as primers to print innocuous substrates. So you would coat the substrate, polypropylene, for example, being a case in point. You'd coat it with that, and then because it was bound to it, you could then print on it. Now, it doesn't take much of a leap to go from thinking, well, if it sticks to polyprop, it'll stick to PU top coat or single stage.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you've moved from one industry to another with a really good product. But that's only from my background. I know that would work because my background previously told me it did.
Right.
So you move it across. And then you've got a primer, which is great as a coating, but it's also quite good for wax to be put on top of because it encourages adhesion. So, there's different ways of doing things. We do things differently.
So what would you say would be maybe one of the out of the box things that maybe you were able to take from what you did before and implicate it into, automotive aftercare technology that maybe people wouldn't think about,
The ceramic for the wax is a straight lift from print ink tech, and some of the TI-22 is the big take. That's the one that comes from that to that. Yeah. We take other bits, the optical brighteners that we use sometimes for UV protection and stuff. That's kind of lifted for UV varnish tech. So we move things about. We have the capability to do that. And that's I'm just looking around my desk to see if I can see anything that's would jump out at that for that point of view. But some of the other materials that we use are I think some of the retarding solvents, some of the things that slow materials down we use. So that's come from the print ink game to where we are. So we mix and match. If it suits, then that's what we do. But we're only driven by the customer. I mean, if we weren't driven by the customer, I'd have 500-600 formulations done and out in a bottle sitting in a shelf. But there's no point, because if the customer doesn't want it, then there's no point in doing it. And it's hard to persuade a customer that you actually want something that you hasn't thought of.
Right. And you're speaking of customers, I mean, we're kind of thankful to a customer coming to you for even having Angelwax, right? Because I mean, if the story's correct that I heard that somebody
Yeah.
came to you and asked if you could make a wax, and then
But
they didn't end up buying them, and then you were out on the
that,
side of the road selling waxes out of the trunk of the car.
that's not a million miles from the truth. That's what happened. I developed a wax. The company wouldn't take it because it wasn't made in the US, which is fair enough. We didn't know that at the start. Left with a wax that got 4-star review in one of the motoring magazines over here. People started to phone up and ask for it. So I was making 5-tub batches, then 10-tub batches, then 20-tub batches. And then I started to get asked for a shampoo because in order to put the wax on, you need a clean car.
Yeah.
So do you do a shampoo? Well, no, but I'll make one. And that's how it spiraled. We then went to, okay, so you've done that. Can you clean my wheels? So we made a wheel cleaner. Then can you protect the wheels? So then we went into the wheel wax. And that's how it organically moved.
Right.
The first show that we ever did with 4 products: wheel cleaner, shampoo, wheel wax, body wax. That was it. And we've moved from that in very little time, in 10, 12 years, to where we are now.
Okay.
So we obviously somewhere along the lines did something right. We're involved with some great people and Rain. I'm waiting for a response for that. We've done. We've no, but we are involved. We've got a lot of good people with us. We
Yeah.
help
Yeah,
and
you do.
move and push us along. But it's completely organic. So once we had kind of done the outside, then it was, well, can I clean my seats? How did I clean my dash?
Right.
Windows. So then you develop a window cleaner. You develop upholstery cleaner, leather cleaner, and it just moved. And once you've cleaned it, once you've cleaned it, you then protect it, and then it's a natural progression. So we didn't arrive with 30 formulations all sitting done.
Right.
We started with 4, and that was
Yeah.
kind of it. And then the next show we had a few more products, maybe 4 or 5 more, and it slowly built up. We've got about 90 products now.
Wow. So how long did it take you to go from making these waxes and shampoos and 4 products, probably on the side of what you were doing with the
Absolutely on the
business, right?
side, yes. I was still
To going like, hang on a second, I'm doing better or making more
that's
in car care.
about 6, 7 years into it.
Okay.
Started to be a flip. No, I think we've been at this now 14 years.
Okay.
And that's maybe less than 14 years actually. And that's kind of where it all kind of went. So yeah, there was a point 7 or 8 years back that there was a flip, and then we thought, oh, okay, but we'd always taking it very seriously.
Right.
You have to. You might well be doing it as a side issue, but it still has to be right. You can't, you can't do it wrong. It has to be bang on right because you're selling a product to a customer.
Yeah.
So it has to be spot on because it's not. You're cheating yourself, cheating your customer. You'll get a terrible reputation, and nobody will come back.
Right. Exactly.
So it was, and as I say, when it flipped, we still treated it the same way, but we had more time to develop better products and more stuff. So that's it. I mean, most of the development stuff is based on experience and knowing what certain products will do and knowing the best way to combine certain raw
Right.
material. So
Okay.
you know which alcohol to use when you're making a screen wash, as opposed to the one that you don't use, and see, you know things.
Right. So let me ask you this. So when you got customers that come to you and let's say, they want to make their own wax, whether it be little Wicky's Carney wax or Red Delight, Um,
I like that.
it's a plug for me and Noxie's waxes that are coming out. I mean, are you just? I mean, kind of. I mean, I don't really care, right? But I mean, like, are you just like using a whatever formula you have, and then like I know Noxie said he wanted his to be like teal in color or something. I wanted
Yeah.
mine to be more reddish in color. So you're just using a wax formula that you already have,
Well,
and if they wanted a certain color,
I would normally make a wax specific to what anybody asks for, and
okay,
then your Noxie's waxes are precisely what you asked for. It was high gloss, particular color, particular fragrance. So it was done that way. And if anybody comes and asks me to do, a special one-off tub for a birthday or whatever,
yeah,
then it's usually specific. We do not take a standard formula, throw a different color in it,
okay.
and sell it as something else. That's again cheating the customer.
Yeah, no, but I didn't mean it like that. I just didn't know if it was because I mean, essentially, it's a white labeled products, in a way. So I didn't know if it's just something that you're like,
No,
white labeling this
your your
because I
product
did because I did
specific.
ask Rick. I did ask Rick and I changed it, but because I think he said it would be a little hard to do. But I did ask Rick if we could make Red Delight smell like cigarettes and compound dust so that it would smell like Noxie, and he said that might be a little hard to do. So we
I
just went
did
with the
that.
we
Nobody told me that because I could do the cigarettes.
Oh, could you?
I've got a really nice tobacco fragrance.
Oh, man, if you haven't made it yet, we might have to
I
change
made
that
it.
then.
It's
Oh, you
it's
did?
done.
Okay, that's fine. Nah, it's fine.
However, what I might do is I'll make one and I'll put the tobacco through it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I mean, depending on how it sells, maybe I'll end up doing more because I know we just did a 50 pot run
Yeah,
or
there's a
whatever.
50 pot run now.
Yeah.
I'll do
So
one with tobacco.
yeah, that one would that one would be hilarious.
I'll do that. I'll do that for you.
Oh man, I love that one. Yeah, no, Rick said he would ask you about it, and then when I chose that picture of Noxie eating the donut, I was kind of like, let's just give it a sweet smell, like a donut-y smell or whatever. And
Yes,
so
well, you
Rick's
got
like,
jam donut.
yeah, Rick said that would be a good one. So,
Yeah, done that.
uh,
I'll do a tobacco one for you.
oh, that'd be awesome. That would be
I think I'm
killer.
getting the labels this week.
Oh,
So
okay, cool. Um, yeah, because I know Noxie's already made a little website. He hasn't put it up yet because he doesn't have the waxes yet or whatever, but he's already put a website up for people to buy it on. So
and he doesn't seem
uh
the label either.
yeah. um well, listen, let's jump into our first commercial break since we're at kind of a stop point, and then we'll kind of come back and talk about like the smoke and mirrors side of it, like you said, like
Mhm.
how do you kind of work around the smoke and mirrors, or how do you look through it and things like that. So
Yeah,
we'll be right back.
no problems.
Autobahn is a leading provider of tint, paint protection film, and ceramic coatings. Experience the transformation as you cool down your vehicle and elevate its curb appeal with Autobahn's window tint. Ditch rock chips and scratches by fortifying your paint with Autobahn's cutting-edge paint protection film. And for an additional safeguard, add a ceramic coating. Backed by an unwavering lifetime warranty, Autobahn's products form automotive armor with no limits. Visit AutobahnFilms.com to delve deeper into the realm of automotive care and protection. All right, so before we carry on, so Rain said tobacco flavored donuts. Write that down.
Done.
Okay, so now the flip side, right? Like the smoke and mirror side that you were saying about, like how to be able to look through that and everything. So, you being a chemist, and I guess when you're coming up with your products, and kind of now, like you said, being in the industry for 14 years and knowing kind of like all the questions detailers are going to ask or whatever, because everybody thinks that they're a chemist.
Well, you might think they're going to ask them, but as often as not, there's always something that comes up.
Yeah, there's always a new one for you.
Yeah,
But
usually
I mean, you
two.
probably have a general idea of like, okay, so I know that they're gonna ask me about this. I have to make sure that we cover this, and it's not a smoke and mirror show and
Oh no,
whatnot.
we're dead straight. People that know what we're about and know us and know the people we deal with, we'll answer the question. If it's possible to answer it, we will answer it, and we'll answer it straight. And if that's, you know, possibly to the detriment of the kind of how people see things, you know, if somebody asks me a question, I don't know the answer, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
No idea, don't know. However, I will try and find out. You know, I'm not going to say something that just to get somebody off my back.
Right.
We find that being as straight as humanly possible is the easiest way to deal with people. You can't get caught out. And if I don't know something, I'll say I don't know it.
Right.
Or I'll speak very quickly in a Glaswegian accent and nobody can understand. So, but as a general rule, that's how we operate. So
Okay.
we're as straight as there is. We are open. People are welcome to visit the factory. We'll show them what we do. We got nothing to hide.
Right. So
And we're available, so you can
right.
contact.
But okay, so then when you look at other people's stuff, or you see the way that maybe other people are, I guess, like marketing it or whatever, do you see like where they're like, that's a little
Well,
like,
normally you look at it and go, "Wow, you know, that's the marketing's brilliant." And to be honest with you, 99 times out of 100, the products are good as well.
yeah,
I mean, at the end up, as we'd said before, the important thing is the customer gets a product that does the job.
right,
Everything else is fairly incidental. The benefit with us is you get to talk to the guys that make it. So that's our unique point, if there's such a thing. Most of the detailing products that are out there are pretty good.
yeah,
You know, I don't think there's much that's particularly poor available at the moment. And the way social media is, these soon get found out.
yeah,
So I would be thinking, you know, I look at things and I look at the formulations that's on the back of bottles and other things. And case in point, I had looked at a couple of products over the weekend, and had the chemical in them that I couldn't quite work out why it was there. So I went and had a look, found out why, and it made sense. So
okay,
even, you know, you look at them and you go, oh, how's that there? And then you go and dig into it. So most of the time it's fine. It's so long as everybody's in the same kind of page, but we can only do what we do, which is to be as straight and open as possible. So you give the customer the confidence that if they've asked us a question and we've answered it, that's the answer as good as we can do.
yeah,
And we're not going to go around in circles, and we're not going to tell them, you know, it's black instead of white. I've no doubt there's customers out there, companies out there do that. We don't.
right,
But the other side to that is most of the products that are out there are good.
yeah. And
There's
I
very
think you're
few
right.
pure detailing products out there just now.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, I've always said it on the show, and I'll continue to always say it. I mean, it's mostly all same shit, different bottle, whether it's coatings or compounds or polishes or whatever, right? I mean, like, it's the same things that need to go into it to make it. It's just the different formulation, right? Or the different mixture.
Well, certainly, I mean, I can't possibly speak for anybody else's materials in that front. All I do know is ours is about as good as you can get.
Right.
And that's kind of where we would sit it. As for most other coatings that are out there, they're pretty good. Absolutely not to be knocked. They do the job. They do what they're supposed to do.
Right, right. And again, I mean, the $20 bottle on Amazon might have the same
Well,
materials, but not the same quality of materials as your
well,
bottle, right? You know?
that's a completely different argument. That's a podcast on its own. You could, I mean, it'd be a really good, interesting one to get through Amazon.
It probably
Pick out
would, yeah.
a $20 coating, a $5 shampoo, a $10 wax, or whatever,
Yeah.
and then look at it. I mean, that would be a cracking
Yeah.
thing, because that's a whole different ballgame. When we're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
companies, we're talking proper,
Right.
you know,
Right.
chemical companies that do it in a proper manner. These people tend not to. I mean, they're basically Chinese imports.
Yeah.
as far
Yeah.
as I understand it.
No, I know. But what I was gonna kind of get to was, like you said, right? Like they're for the most part, they're all pretty good. I think where the this one's the best or this one sucks comes into play is social media, right? And it's because maybe something works great for you, but I don't like it. It didn't do the same thing for me. So I go, oh, it sucks, right? But that doesn't mean that it sucks. It just means
No, I
I
think that's a
suck, you know?
that's well, that's a different argument. But no, it's not an unreasonable way of putting it. It's like everything else. I mean, I have raw materials that I prefer
Yeah.
the other ones,
Yeah.
and other people will get their materials to do what they're supposed to do, but I can't. So I use something else. It's the
Yeah.
same idea. It's just down the line, and
Yeah.
it's a reasoned argument that if it doesn't work for you, it must be rubbish.
Right.
But it's not necessarily, in the real world the case.
Yeah.
But we try and just be us, and absolutely, you never find us saying this particular company's rubbish or whatever. We do not go there. It's not our way.
Yeah, and I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about kind of the same thing, right? And like, where you might try a product, let's say a compound, we'll just go with a compound because that's what we were talking about. So you might try a compound and you're like, "Man, you know what? Like I don't know, like it's not cutting for me. I don't, whatever." And you put it on the shelf and you forget about it, right? And 6 months later you're like, "Ah, you know what? Let me give this another shot." And then you try it and then it works, right? But
Mhm.
in that 6 months, what was different, right? Paint on because there's always those factors, right? The
Yeah,
paint on the
yeah,
car is going to be a factor, the pad that you're using, maybe
temperature.
how you're feeling that day, if you're, you know,
Absolutely.
more tired and you weren't, you were just trying to blaze through it and it didn't give it a cut, and now you're more fresh and you're working it nice and slow. Or so I always think that there's a lot of factors that go into something, to just call it bullshit.
But again, we would, in our experience, if somebody tries something of ours and they don't go on with it, normally they'll drop me a message or call us, and we can help in that front,
Right.
given that we know precisely what's in it. And that has happened a few times. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I wouldn't for 1 minute say everything we make's better than everybody else's. Some are really, really good. Some are just good.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's the nature of our range. So that's how we look at it. We just,
Yeah.
there's very little ego here. Nobody, we just do the best we can. And that runs from developing the products to manufacturing to bottling them to get out the door. Everybody that's involved in that line does it to the best of their abilities. Because at the end of the day, it has to get to the customer how the customer wants it. He's king.
Right.
He's the most important link in the chain.
Exactly.
And that's how we see it. And we'll always see it that way.
Right.
And that's kind of as good as we can kind of get on it.
Right. So are you so you're the only one, you're the only Angelwax chemist, right? So like it's you that's coming up with all the formulas and everything. Now, are you actually like mixing, or once you've come up with the formula, you can pass it off
Well,
to
we've got
somebody?
our procedure would be I've got an assistant, Jason, assists me, and Jason's also the production manager. So what would happen is I would make a product. So start off with 100 grams, 200 grams. You make it, sample it, send it out, and come back. And people say, yeah, I like this or whatever. So you finish on a formula. So the first thing we'd then do is probably scale it up to maybe 5 or 10 kilos. Because when you scale something up from 100 grams, you don't jump from 100 grams to 3 ton, 3,000 kilos. You don't do that
Right.
because things happen when you scale things up. So you make an intermediate batch first. So you might make 10 Ks. Iron out the issues with that, if there is any, and then we'll go to production. So Jason gets involved, says, right, we're going to make this. We need that. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And Jason will say, right, fine. Me and him will then, I'll watch. Him and his assistant will then manufacture the material. We'll check it, QC it, make sure it's all to spec. Go, yep, that's pretty good. We'll then take it. It'll go to the filling line. And the boys at that side will fill the bottles, label them, and box them. So we've got total control from the actual inception of the idea
Right.
to it getting put in a box. We can see it all, and I'll see it up to production, but I'll always check how it's bottling, so it's not doing anything funny there. So we've
Right.
always got an eye on everything, so we can see it all.
Okay.
And that's, as we've said before, in the future we'll maybe do a wee factory tour for you, and you can actually see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I do. I mean, just depending on when, it probably won't be this year, maybe next year. My goal is I'd love to try and come over for wax stock, and kind
Like
of maybe wrangle it into a little bit of a vacation with the family to where we can come over there and I can do wax stock for 2 days and we can travel around because I'd love to come up there and see you guys. I'd love to go see Rudy, maybe see Alan as well.
Mhm.
So I mean it is a plan that I would love to do one year, like I said, hopefully
Yeah.
next year.
Okay.
It just depends with how advertising goes and how being able to step away from the business and get the kid out of
Mhm.
school and cheer and all that fun stuff.
And
But yeah, no, I mean that's definitely on my radar to try and come over there one year and do a tour with you guys and everything, see you
yeah,
guys.
that'd be great. I mean, it'd be good fun. But as I say, that's how we run it. We have total control from start to finish.
Yeah.
And we've got, as I say, Jason assists me. He helps with development work now as well. So there's two of us on it. So it's
Yeah.
getting better, getting a bit quicker.
Now I've been lucky enough to see you a few times now between Mobile Tech
You know?
and SEMA last year, and actually watch you, make stuff because that's the thing you started doing at Mobile Tech Expo last year, right? Was the
Yeah,
first time
that's
you
right.
came over and you started
Uh,
making some waxes and some Genesis, and then at SEMA you were doing stuff, and then Mobile Tech this year you were doing stuff.
that's
So it's cool to like for anybody who you know has never seen this stuff. If you're going to go to SEMA or you're going to go to Mobile Tech, like definitely, stop by and watch John because that's pretty much all you do in the booth. You let
right.
Tommy and Rick and them
I let them do
rain
what
do,
everybody
do
else.
their thing, and you just sit there, just happy as a pig in mud, just
Oh, I,
mixing up stuff all the time. But I've
I,
noticed that like everything you do is when you're mixing it, you mix it on a scale. So you're
oh, I,
mixing it by weight. So is it when you're mixing these big batches, do you have like this big giant scale out in the
yes.
factory?
We have a 2-ton mixing vessel and a 3-ton mixing vessel,
Okay.
and these are mounted on what's known as load cells. So I think they're stress capacitors, and they, as you load them up, they actually might be stress resistors. I can't remember. Either way up, when you load them up, you get a change in signal when you get the scale, you get the
Okay.
weight. So we can fill to hundreds, thousands of kilos, and we
Oh wow.
know what we've got. So we pipe the water in directly. We pour the rest of the stuff in. So it's all weighed on the load cells. And they're
Okay.
accurate to half a kilo, which is fine in 2 or 3 thousand.
Gotcha.
So that's how we do it. That's why I mean, in an ideal world, I mean, I might even just do a tour anyhow and bring it across to you on video, and you can just have a look for yourself,
Yeah. No,
and
that's
you'll maybe
cool.
get an understanding of what we do.
Yeah, I'd love to do that one time. Like I said, maybe we'll do an Angelwax product spotlight because I don't think we've really ever done one, and maybe we can get you and Matt on the phone or on the deal together, and
We can do
and
something. I could even make something live for you.
yeah, no, that'd be cool. Yeah, because the last time you made something live for me, my microphone didn't pick it up, and I felt bad because you were like
Funny one.
you were making it for the first time, like and
I
for
know.
me, and then like the audio didn't pick up, and I was like, oh man, that
It's
sucks.
funny that because the audio for the at SEMA it was perfect.
Yeah, and the only thing that I can think of because I heard a couple of the other guys had issues too. I heard the Chicago Auto Pros guys had some issues, and I heard that Rod and Jody were having issues. Is the only thing I could think of was the floor at the Gaylord wasn't carpeted,
Some carpets and
and
echoey.
Yes, I think there was a lot more echoing involved with the floor, not having that carpet on it. And it was funny because I had even talked to Sheldon at the show and he was telling me that, like it just would have been so expensive for them to put carpet down on it. That he did, that he didn't. So I don't know. I mean, it stinks, but it was cool for. I mean, you can kind of, if you listen real closely, you can kind of hear what you're saying, but it's just like a real low volume. So people could go back and find that, but it was pretty neat because you were making the new prep solve or
Yeah,
panel wipe,
the
right?
Paraguay, yeah, the water dilutable one,
Yeah. So
which is
now that's a new product you have coming out,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
We get that. We have graphene wax coming out. Will be launched. Pro wheel cleaner, pro wheel coating, sorry, and a
Okay.
couple others. So there's a few things in the pipeline, for want of
Okay.
a better phrase. But yeah, that was the first time we'd made that particular product anywhere.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate you for doing it, like on, even though the audio didn't come out great. I mean, people could
Nah,
still
it's
watch you
one of
mix
these
it and
things, isn't
everything.
it?
And, it was a really cool thing to watch.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, whatever you were putting in it was definitely pretty potent because I could smell it, standing across the thing from you. I mean, it was
Yeah,
um, it wasn't like a super strong alcohol-y smell, but you could, like
no,
some.
but this is a different machine, a different beast altogether. It will be completely dilutable. It won't cloud up, so it'll be perfect for really soft paint or really
Nice.
picky single stage stuff. So you won't have a single stage car that's red and wipe it and your microfiber suddenly went red. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So for that kind of thing, soft and awkward, and you have the facility to dilute it down to just the point where you need it.
Okay.
Or if you need it strong to get rid of a lot of rubbishy oils or whatever, then fine. So
Right.
total flexibility.
Okay. And so was that a product that, everybody was again kind of coming to you and saying like,
Uh,
"Hey, we need a panel
yeah,
wipe."
it hinges from one of the guys that we deal with. Does a lot of single stage classic stuff,
Okay.
and he was having problems with cellulose paint, and not just our panel wipe, just about everybody's, because there's always bits in any panel wipe that will go for single stage paint,
Hmm.
and he was having a problem with it. So I says, okay, I'll make you one that won't go for the paint. It'll be one solvents that are cellulose soluble. So that's what we did for him, and it kind of ran from there. I made him half a litre to try. Oh, great, great. So that's,
Okay.
again, is another indication of how we do things. Somebody's phoned up and said,
Right.
or like talking to you there earlier on, and you went, oh, the cigarettes that smell more. No, I can do that. So you talk to people and something tricks something else,
Right.
and you're away. You're suddenly in a whole line that you hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
And that's what I like doing.
No, that's cool. How Rick's on.
No.
What's up, Rick? Um how how much through the day or how much of your time do you kind of just spend thinking of like, either the next thing or kind of like what you said earlier, right? Like sometimes and I heard this from forgive me, I believe his name was Mike. He's the chemist from Turtle Wax.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of said something similar. Like sometimes you're working on something and it just doesn't click. And so you kind of have to put it away. And weeks, months, years later, you're working on something else and you're like,
That's
that'll
it.
work over
Yeah.
here. So like how
That's,
much of your time is kind of spent on, just trying to figure stuff out and come up with stuff?
you're invariably always thinking of something. It's kind of the nature of the game.
Yeah.
So even if you're making stuff, you're doing something, you think, oh, what can I do with this? Or so you're always ticking over. It's not
Right.
really 9 to 5. You can see something, you go, right? It's just what is Rick up to?
He says when you talk
to me.
when you
Yes,
talk to
yes,
me.
yes, yes. FOR.
Yeah.
You get that. So no, but it's well, he's right to an extent. You chat to people and people throw things out.
Yeah.
And you,
I'm just gonna imagine that FOR is fuck off Rick.
you got it. Y'all should get a response. But no, you're always thinking about something. What happens if I do the case in point when I was out on Saturday? One of the products that was kicking about was it was a water spot remover, but it had
Okay.
sodium nitrite in it. And I'm going, why is it got sodium nitrite in it? And so your Saturday afternoon spent trying to figure that out. And then once you figure it out, you think, oh, it's obvious. So it's in there to stop. It was an aerosol and it stops the cancer rusting.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I didn't know that. So it's an anti-rusting product.
Okay.
So it stops that. But that gets you thinking, why is it there? I've got some, I'll make some. Will it do any good?
Right.
And that'll kick off in anything, really. And it's just it's the nature of how your mind works.
Okay.
It's either that or I've got to try and figure it out to answer emails. And it's much easier thinking about products.
Yeah. So have you ever been asked to make something that you're just like, nah, we're not going to do that because it's either a hokey thing or a flash in the pan or, whatever?
Not really. I mean, you get asked to make stuff and you make it and say it's going to cost you this. And at
Okay.
that point, you find out if the customer's serious or not. But you still learn from doing stuff. I mean, we've all made, and all the Turtle Wax guy, anybody that's involved in this game will have made stuff for people that hasn't flown because the price is too high or it's taking a while to do it and the market's possibly changed. But it's always there just in case you need it.
I like that.
You don't forget, you don't unlearn.
Yeah.
You have it boxed away just for when you need something slightly different. And that's the nature of it. That's entirely it. You're always thinking, you think, oh, hold on, I'll put that into the wheel cleaner and it'll be better or it'll do something.
Right.
The graphene that we use is different from everybody else's. And again, that's part and parcel to my printing side. Accesses me access to a different company that makes graphene that suits my needs. And they were prepared to bend their products to help me. So there was a coming and going there. You'll find that with a lot of raw material companies, if they're really good and helpful, there's a coming and going between you and them. They'll maybe develop something for you that you take and you put it in and you go, yeah, it works great and all the rest of it. So all of a sudden they've got a new product that they can sell, but you've managed to get a pretty exclusive product to yourself. So we work with raw material suppliers like that as well. It's not just off the shelf stuff we get. We have access to other things that other people don't.
Right. Right. No, that's
So
cool.
it works well.
No, awesome. Well, listen, let's take our last commercial break and then we'll come back and wrap this up because I know you're a busy man. You got stuff to make and
actually, I have got stuff to make. Yes, I got industrial.
some tobacco and donut scents to make. So
well, yeah, jam donuts, brilliant. The scent's tremendous. You love it.
All right, we'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Is your ultimate partner in automotive detailing. Elevate your detailing game with our premium microfiber towels and applicators, meticulously crafted for protection. Unleash the power of precision and achieve that showroom shine. Autofiber, where innovation meets immaculate finish. Upgrade your detailing experience today. Visit autofiber.com and use the code DSP for 10% off your order. The difference is in the details. All right. Okay, John, listen, I appreciate you, throwing that topic out. I hope everybody listened today got a little bit of an insight on, how product development ideas happen and, and that, really kind of like the smoke and mirrors and the bullshit could still work in somebody's favor or whatnot, or you never know what kind of
You have
deals.
to
So
credit the customer with some sense and
yeah,
some.
yeah. And for anybody who may be interested and didn't know, you can reach out to Tommy here in the States, or I'm guessing Rick anywhere else, and have John make you your own wax if you wanted to, and he can make it smell like cigarettes if you if you wanted
Some
to.
jam donuts.
Because I think that's something that maybe some people don't know. I mean, if you want to make up your own little, whatever wax and sell it to your
Yeah.
clients or something like that, and it's really not that expensive. It's not as expensive as you would probably think it is. So, um,
It starts to get a bit expensive when you get down the ceramic route or
yeah,
the titanium route or the
yeah,
graphene route. They're
um,
expensive materials. So
right,
that's
yeah. So, John, if anybody wants to, I know you probably prefer people to reach out to like Rick or Tommy or whatever, but if anybody wants to maybe hit you up with um, with a question about how to do things and whatnot, Rudy
Facebook,
says,
whatever.
Lambert and Butler wax.
Lambert Butler
I can't,
wax.
yeah, I can't read.
Yeah,
That's
some
Rudy.
cigarette brand over here. You wouldn't
Um,
know.
Yeah, but I know you're pretty pretty accessible on Facebook and things like that. But if anybody wanted to reach out to you, is that the best place to reach out to you, or do you have?
Go direct to me, go to Tommy, go to Rick, Rain, whatever. Anybody.
Yeah.
Rohan, old Matthew, it'll all feed back here.
Okay. Perfect. No, I appreciate that.
No problem.
Alrighty, sir. Well, thanks for coming on. This
Thanks
was
for your
this
Alex,
was a
great.
yeah, it was a fun one. Learned some things, had some laughs. I know it was probably too early in the morning for most people here in the States to be watching this, but it'll be out. It'll be out Thursday morning like normal.
Great.
So there won't be a What's on Your Mind Wednesday tomorrow night. This is the What's on Your Mind. We
Well,
just had to fit it in John's schedule Tuesday morning. So
well, hopefully you'll be able to edit out the boring bits, which will be most of it, I imagine.
yeah. No, it's not boring. I don't edit anything. That takes too much time.
No,
Our
I like it. It's good to chat and good to talk and see these things.
Yeah.
And,
No,
it's
it's
good
so yeah,
coming back and forth, back
it's
and
always
forth.
a good time. Yeah, I always appreciate talking to you, especially like I said, it's uh who's that? Is that Rudy said that? Yeah. Or no, Rain. Rain said John did great speaking English for once.
I'll have words with him later.
Yeah. No, like I said, it's always been really cool, to meet you in person and be able to have that interaction and talk with you. You're a super approachable guy and great person to talk to. So
I'm here to help.
yeah, I tell everybody they should go meet you. So
Oh,
go
well,
to you, and you'll be at SEMA again this year, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
No, I like the
You're
American
the
food.
you're the boss. I mean, if
Oh,
anybody's not,
that's right. That's right. That's definitely Rick. I'm getting out of that one. That's Rick.
yeah,
He's in
exactly.
charge.
Yeah. You guys got to get Matthew to come this time.
I'll
Um,
see.
yeah, get
I
him
would
to
think
come
so.
over. So,
Yeah.
all right, John, I appreciate it, buddy. You
No
have a
problem.
great rest of your day. We'll chat soon.
Okay, no
Thanks, man.
bother. Alex. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, so that was John. Again, he's the guy. He's Angelwax. He's the mad chemist. You guys all know him. You've kind of seen him on the podcast before. We've had him on before and talking about different things and then especially in the lives where he'll make up some products and whatnot wherever he's at CMA or MTE. So I appreciate John for coming on. Thanks for everybody who was kind of up early to watch this on Facebook and kind of feed some questions in and stuff like that. Listen, that's all I got. Please go like, share, follow, subscribe, hit that notification button anywhere that you are listening to us. Please go leave us a 5-star review. I am going to go on with my day now because it's early here. So, you guys have a great day, night, weekend, whatever time you're listening to this. I greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you. Take care.